Hello, everyone. My name is Miss Ann here at the Warminster Township Free Library, and welcome to our Fun Feats of Science class. Today, we are going to be learning all about electricity, specifically using copper tape and creating circuits, which we will do very soon. But first, I have a question for you guys. Can anyone tell me, what do I have in my hands? Does anybody know? Let's go with Kayla. Kayla, what do I have in my hands?
A battery?
Yes, a battery. A battery, something that we most definitely need. What does a battery do? Does anybody know? What does a battery do? Let's see. Lexi, what does a battery do?
Battery like makes stuff walk if they aren't something that you need to charge.
Yes, it makes something work. And this, I love that it has the name in it. It says it's the Energizer one. Energizer, there we go. So it has energy that powers things, right? Well, a lot of things in our lives today are powered by electricity, and a lot of things require power, just like this battery has that stored up power. Let's go, and I'm going to show you guys in a second, like our slideshow. But can anyone think of anything before we move to our slideshow? Something that might be powered by a battery. Can anyone think of anything that's powered by a battery? Millie.
I have a remote control car and it's powered by a battery, but you have to charge the battery.
Remote control car. What else, Kayla?
Like a remote for a TV.
A remote for a TV. That's the one I was thinking of. So good thinking. Anybody else? How about Andy?
Anything that can move other than the things that get charged by plug.
Yeah, you're right. A lot of things you plug in
needs energy.
Yes, you were so right when you said a lot of things we plug in. So that's using a different kind of energy that we're going to talk about.
Also solar powered energy.
Yep. We're not going to be talking about solar powered energy today, but that's definitely something that you could come to the library and learn more about. How about Vicky?
We got a bubble machine and it has two batteries and a big one and one battery for a little one.
Nice. So that's something that requires a battery. Okay, guys, let's put our hands down. Oh, we have Lincoln joining us. Let's put our hands down. And now I'm going to transition to sharing my screen to show you guys a little bit more about different kinds of electricity. We're going to learn about two kinds today, static and current. Okay, so let's share my screen. Okay. I see a few people. Let me present. So welcome to today's class. It's electric. All right. Let me minimize this. Okay. We're going to learn about circuits and electricity, and this is geared for grades K to 2, and there might be some things that, kind of will dive in to some things that are slightly more advanced. Okay. But by the end of today, I hope that you guys will know what is electricity, and then know what is static and current electricity, what a circuit is, and what you need to make a circuit. Because today that's what we're going to be doing with our copper tape and our lithium battery, our coin cell battery. We're going to be making our own circuits and lighting something. So what is electricity? And this is, I know, can be kind of the boring part where we learn something, but to understand that foundation, we need that foundation so that way we can understand what we're going to be doing later. Basically, to put it really, really, really simply, electricity is the flow of electrical charge or power, the flow of power. It's a movement between two places on a continuous stream. So just kind of goes from one point to the next of this electrical charge. More specifically, for those of you guys who want to know a little bit more, it is the flow of tiny little particles called electrons that are moving from one place to another. And if you guys have any questions, hold your questions till the end, okay? All right. Now we're going to learn about static electricity. That's the start part 1, and then I'll do a little demo for you guys, and then we're going to do part 2, which is the current electricity. Well, static electricity is a change that happens when a surface touches each other, and the electrons, remember those tiny particles, they move from one place, one object specifically, to another object. And one of the objects will have a positive charge and the other a negative. So they're kind of like opposites. And if you rub an object quickly, like, say, a balloon on your hair or your feet on the carpet, this will build up a charge, a kind of energy. And you guys can see this adorable little picture of this little boy. And what happened to his hair? Does anybody know what happens to his hair? Addie is doing it. It goes everywhere, right? Yes, it goes everywhere. So this is another activity you can definitely do at home. If you have a balloon, all you need is a balloon and your shirt. You rub that balloon on your shirt, and then you stick it to your hair, or you can stick it on your hair, and then you can see that charge literally is pulling your hair very lightly and gently so that it's kind of sticking up straight like that. So that is a static electricity. So we're going to demo that right now, and I'm going to show you guys what that looks like. Okay, so we're going to stop sharing. Hi, guys. So this is where you could do the salt experiment, which I provided for you guys as an alternative to something. You can do this at home, okay? And don't worry if you want to redo this. I am recording this, and I'll be sending out the recording to everybody who registered tomorrow. But I wanted to show you guys a little bit about what you guys will need. So let me see if I can. There we go. You guys should be seeing my paper plate. Here we go. So in this cup, does anyone know what this is? Millie, what is it? Do you think you got it?
Pepper.
You've got it. It is pepper. And then does anyone know what this is?
Salt. It says it right there.
It says it right there in big, bold letters, salt. So to do this experiment, just first make sure you have a paper plate or some sort of plate. You don't need a paper one. And you're just gonna pour some salt down there. And it's really hard to see that salt, but it's there. You guys just saw me pour it. And then you're gonna take your pepper and you're just gonna put it in there. And then mix. So now I have a question for you guys. How am I gonna get that pepper out?
Yeah, no, that's crazy.
How do you think I can get this pepper out? Does anyone know? Okay. How about Michael? Is that Michael?
You can use the spare one to pick it up.
Yeah, I could try to do this, but I'm getting some salt in there too, and it's kind of tricky. But there is a solution. So pepper is actually lighter a little bit than salt. So we can use static electricity. All right, so I have my spoon. To create a static electricity, does anyone remember what we have to do? Let's see if anybody knows. All right, Lexi, what do we need to do?
You should rub it against your shirt, and then you should put the spoon on the pepper, and then it will lift the pepper up.
Yeah, so you can use a really like wool or an abrasive, so like a really, really thick fabric. I've got my shirt. We're gonna try it on that. So I'm just gonna rub it, really creating that charge. Remember, when you use something like this, you want to create that charge. So I'm just rubbing it. All right, let's see if it works. Ooh, I'm seeing it. Do you guys see it? I'm not. Whoa. Do you guys see what happened? Let's see. Do you guys see? Yeah. Now remember, my shirt, it's kind of hard to see. You guys might not be able to see it. But if you do it at home, you will. It's not only getting the pepper, because remember I said the pepper is actually lighter.
It worked.
Yeah, it really does. It's really kind of cool. Now you're not going to get all of it out.
It worked
right?
for me.
Oh, did you try it at home? Oh, awesome. Yeah, so let me pull up. So yeah, and now I was using like my cardigan. If you use like a t-shirt, it's going to be even better because you want something like that's a little bit sturdier of a fabric. That's really going to create that tension. The longer you do it, the better you might find the better results you get. Maybe that's something to test out. You know, what if I rub the spoon for 1 minute? Will it be better? Worse? These are ways to, you know, test out by asking these really, really awesome questions. So that's static electricity, but there's another kind of electricity. That's the current electricity. So this is the little add-on that you guys can do after the program, and it's just a little simple demo. All right, now we're going to go back to our PowerPoint because now we're going to be talking about currents. All right, so 1 second, let me share my screen again. And again, if you have questions, hold your questions, and then at the end, when we're doing our little activity, we can talk, okay? And I'm just seeing if anybody has any questions right now in the chat. No, everybody is doing awesome. Here we go. So the other type of electricity is called current electricity. It's a motion of electrons along a path or a circuit from a power supply to something powered by it. So that would be that battery I showed you is the power supply, and the light bulb would be something that's powered by it, potentially. In this case, it would probably be more like, you know, electricity you get from your house. Okay. All right. Oh, I see some people. Let me see if I can open up the chat. All right. If you have your question, just hold off. Okay, guys? All right. So a circuit. So this is important. What is a circuit? Let's see if I can open up the chat. Perfect. Now I can. Hi, Sean. Awesome. Okay. All right. So minimize that. So what are circuits? A circuit is like a road. So just like we, you know, to get to the Warminster Library, you would take a bunch of roads to get here. You would drive in your car. So a circuit is like a road. Think of it like a map. It's taking you from one place to the other. And so this map or this road is leading electrons, those tiny, 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 little tiny particles of charge along it, along that road to power parts along the way. So as those little tiny parts are moving along that road, it might hit the light and then turn the light on. Circuits can be both open or closed. Think of it like an on-off switch. So open would mean that the button can turn something on and off. A closed circuit means that it goes along the path forever or until the power is gone. Okay? So open meaning that there's a button or a switch that will turn it on and off. Just like the light in your house. You guys often have a light switch, right? And at night, when it gets really dark, you'll have to switch on the lights so that way it turns on. So that's called an open circuit. A closed circuit is what I'm going to show you, what we're kind of going to be doing if you just left it forever, and it would always go on until the power supply is gone. Okay? Circuits need a few things, and we're going to talk about this more than once, so you guys understand. A circuit needs a power supply, like that battery that I showed you guys. That's a power supply. It needs a light or something that will be powered by the battery or whatever it is you're going to be using. And it needs a pathway. It needs that road. So that's a circuit. It needs a power supply, a light or something to be powered by, maybe a buzzer or a fan, whatever electronic is being powered by your power supply, your battery, and then some sort of pathway. So now I'm going to show you guys a short demo, and then we're going to do the activity. Okay. The short demo is really, really short, as you'll see, because I want you guys to get to the activity. Okay. I don't know if you guys know what this is. Does anyone know what this is? Hey, Sean, what is this? Do you know?
A circuit?
It is most definitely a circuit. This is actually something you could buy. It's called snap circuits. So what happens?
that exact thing, but a more advanced version.
Oh, cool.
My sister has that.
Like I can
same
make a
snap
sound
circuit
with
kit.
it.
Yeah. So snap circuits are really cool because you just snap it off and there you go. And you build a circuit. Now I've built this ahead of time. Okay. It's got the power supply right here, which is, does anyone remember what do we call these?
Batteries.
You can just say, yep, it's batteries. This is going to go along a road. So that's good. It's got a power supply. It's going to go along this path. Okay, that's step 2. And then it needs to power something. And that's over here. Does anyone see what that is? Yeah, it's a light. So we have the 3 things for our circuit. This, can anyone tell me, is this an open or a closed circuit?
Open.
Someone said it. Yeah, it's open. Why is it open? Now raise your hands and I'll call on somebody. Why do we consider it open? Millie.
Because if you sometimes if you like make a really small one and just put it all together, it might create some fire. It might burn something.
Well, we didn't get to that point yet, but you're right. Electricity is amazing. It can do amazing things, but it can be dangerous if you don't know what you're doing. Thankfully, the things we're doing today are really safe. You shouldn't have to worry. But that's why you always have to hire professionals to come in if there's something, electrical that you want them to do, and you need to be extra careful. Don't go touching, outlets or anything like that. Always get your parents, because when it comes to electricity, we need to be safe. But thankfully, today, this activity, you guys are going to be just fine. But to talk about open and close, this is again a slightly more advanced. This is for the second graders and up, if we have a few of those. It's because I'm pressing a button, right? There we go. When I press a button, that it creates an open circuit. A closed circuit would be if I didn't have this, but I had a continuous circuit, it would power this light until the power supply was gone. All right, so that's the simple demo, just to talk about all the different things that we just learned. Now we are ready for the activity, okay? So at this time, I'd like you guys to get out your kits, and we're gonna go over what is in your kit, okay? So you guys, like we talked about, you're gonna need a battery, a power supply. So you guys have these little batteries. These are called coin cell batteries, 3V lithium batteries. So you guys you should have 2 of them. You don't need to. I provided 2 just in case if one of them wasn't working right. I wanted to make sure you guys had your supplies. So you can put that off to the side. The next thing is you're gonna need something that's powered by the battery. Can anyone think of anything in your kit that would be powered by the battery?
LED lights.
You got it. The lights. We need lights because we need something that's powered by that battery. And last but not least, to create that circuit, we need one final thing. We need a pathway. And it needs to be conductive, which means as electricity goes through, as that power goes through, it'll keep moving. And so that's what the copper tape is involved. You guys should have a decent amount of copper tape like this. You're also going to need scissors. So at this time, grab some scissors. I'm going to go grab some because very silly, I put it off out of reach. So I'm just going to go grab it. One sec. I'm still in the room though. Ta-da! I have little scissors like this. So we're going to do the first sample circuit first. That looks like this. And in a moment, I'm going to switch it to the Huey camera so that way you guys can see what we're doing. So you're going to first do the pathway. And you'll see we're going to start with, we'll put the battery right here. And we'll put the tape on top and we're just going to create this. Okay? So I'm going to make my little station and we're going to do it together. The second one you guys are going to do, and I'm going to show you guys a little bit. So 1 second, let me get everything ready. All right. All right, everyone. So this is the activity that we're going to be working on. It's called Simple Circuit, and you have this handout here if you picked up one of our kits. So what's also going to be provided in your kit, if you picked one up at the library, is copper tape, a battery or that power supply, and an LED light. Okay? That's all you're going to need to do this one, except you will also need scissors, because you're going to need to cut it out. So step number 1 is to create that road or that map. So what you're going to do is you're going to take your copper tape and you're going to just kind of outline where it already has the tape. Make sure to leave a space here and make sure to leave that space here. So I'm going to show you guys the first point and then we'll pause it and come back. Alright, so we're going to do that first leg. You're just going to cut. And you'll see I measured it first and then I cut it out, okay? So that's where it's supposed to go. This is a sticker, so it just gets peeled. Now, the best thing to do with the sticker is not to just undo the whole thing. It gets coiled and kind of connected really, it'll spiral. As you can see, it kind of does that. So I peeled some of it, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to lay it over that, just like that. And then as you go, just press it down. And so we're just doing it very slow, very gently. Boom. There you go. Alright, so you're going to do the whole thing. You're going to go up here, you're going to do here, here, and then down. And then we'll move on to the next step. Okay, so when you're all done, it should look a lot like this. The copper tape is very shiny and it's going around the perimeter with a space here and a space between these two circles here. So now what you're going to do is you're going to get out your battery. And what you want to create is the negative charge is here, the positive is here. Take a look at your battery. There should be a positive and a negative. The positive should make sure that it touches here. The negative will be here. So we're going to lay our battery like so. The negative where the negative is. Okay. Because what we're going to do is this means fold. So when we fold, we connect the circuit to power our LED light. So now you're going to take your LED light. You were given 3 for a reason. Some of these LED lights have been very finicky, so we want to make sure that you guys have at least 1 light. If for some reason when you do this activity, none of your lights work, please come back. We will give you another light or 2 to test out. We want to make sure that you guys can actually do this. Some of the lights have been problematic. So first you want to give this guy a little split. Boom. So he's kind of doing a little split. Both ends are here. So then you want to lay this down. And he needs to go between these 2 things. Now you could lay it underneath, but I didn't have much luck when I did that the last time, so we're going to do it on top. So you're going to hold it and see if this works. Lay it down there. Just hold it on your left hand and then go around and try to connect it. It should light up, because what you're doing is you're connecting this path and connecting it plus to create the continuous circuit until the power supply runs out. And there we go. That's how you do a simple circuit. In a second, we'll be coming back to show you guys how to make your very own heart robot. Hi everyone. This is part 2 of the activity that we did with Fun Feats in Science. We did not get to this part of the activity. We ran out of time, so we're going to talk about it today. If you picked up a kit, it will contain one of these sheets. This is from Spark Fun Start Something. And in this case, we are going to be making a little robot that is going to have a heart that is an LED light. Okay? So the first step you're going to do, number 1, is to place copper tape fold at the corners. So we are going to do kind of 1 and 2 together. There's another way to do it, so we're going to do it the way that I've done it, which is you kind of just measure and then you fold and you kind of create this kind of go around like that. Okay, so you'll start, I'll show you guys the first one and then we'll pause the video and you will come back to show you guys how it's all done. So you kind of first cut out a piece, and then if you picked up a kit, this comes with the copper tape, so you just kind of fold it. There we go. And peel. and then you'll stick. And you just kind of create that, and you kind of go until, until you've gotten the whole thing taped up. Another way that you could do this, which is something to note, is that when you peel it, you can just kind of place it down and go along, and that might be a lot simpler. So try that at home, all right? Okay, so once you've added all of the copper tape, your next step is to, number 3, place the LED light across the gap and tape over it. Now, when you do this, don't use copper tape. It may not work as well. So try using regular clear tape. So you lay it flat and make sure that it's touching the copper tape here and here, and then you can use your tape and to tape it down. Now, when you do this, you want your light to be kind of going up straight. You'll see why in just a moment. Tape, tape. Perfect. Ta-da. So now we move on to step 4, which is down here, which is to punch or cut this little hole here. Now, you could do a hole puncture, or you can just take a handy pen and you just puncture it and go through. So it looks like that. Because when we fold, we want the LED light to kind of go through that cavity. So there we go. All right. So that was step 4. Now step 5, we place the battery label side up on top of that LED light. So you just lay it like that. Okay? And that's when you could fold it over and test it. There we go. It's lighting up. Perfect. That's what we want to see. So you want to test it at that point, because if there's an issue with the circuit or with your light, that's when you'll know before you complete everything. So now you're going to complete this by step 6. Fold along here. This little line is a fold. And when you fold, it should light up your light like it is for me. And now you're going to take your light and kind of bring it through. Ta-da. Now, I have to hold it in order to do this, to keep the light. So now what you're going to do is you're going to take your paper clip and you're going to just keep it constant pressure. You'll notice that it needs to have a certain amount of pressure to keep that light going. And you might need to press it. There we go. All right. So now what you can do is you can start coloring. And that way you can show everybody how you made your little robot colored heart and how you created your circuit.